Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Jerry at the Fledge. Welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today we have on the show our good friend Yanice. How you doing today, Yanice?
I am doing well, thank you.
It's a nice day out today, isn't it?
It is. It's a very nice day out today.
It was super cold this morning though, like 29 degrees.
Yeah, but I always find something to keep me going, regardless of the temperature.
Well, your smile showed up full of sunshine this morning, so
oh, thank you.
I think it must have just started getting sunny when you got here.
Oh, well, here comes the sun, baby.
So
right.
let's get to know you a little bit. Tell us something about Yanice. Tell us something about some of the projects you're working on.
Okay, so I am originally from Chicago, Illinois. So I am a transplant, but I've been here since I was 5 years old. My family moved here from Chicago, and I attended Lansing Public Schools since I went from first grade all the way through 12, graduated.
Hey, tell us all the schools. I'm curious.
Okay, all the schools, I'm going to run them down now. And they might be a little different than when I was going to school, but Wood Creek Elementary, Dwight Rich Middle School, and J.W. Sexton High School. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I went to Kendon, Riddle, Atwood, Gardner, Everett, and Eastern.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I did leave off something. You reminded me. I went to Everett. I went to Everett for like 2 weeks, I think. And no, nothing against Everett. I mean, nothing at all. But I just could feel.
Oh, I assume they kicked you out.
You kicked. No, I was just a big red at heart. I could feel it was, my brothers went to Sexton. I went to Sexton. So it was just a thing,
Yeah, you got to keep that alive.
Of course.
So, all right. So you graduate from Sexton. Mm-hmm. Then what happens?
After that, I actually attended Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Yeah.
I went there for a year. I worked on my MBA.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I worked on my Bachelor of Science degree in telecommunication and film, which is actually broadcasting. We call it broadcasting. And so did a lot of things with radio and television, and had a music minor. I went in, I was recruited into the EMU Symphony Orchestra. So that was cool to feel like, hey, you came after me. You want me to play for you. Thank you. And so that was a very good experience for me. And I started off as a poli-sci major, but then gravitated to the broadcasting field.
All right. So fast forward a little bit. I first heard your name when I was studying who to vote for city council in Lansing last year or 2 years ago. This seems like forever ago.
Okay, so I have a question for you for your question, right?
Yeah.
So was it 2017 or was it 2019? Because I ran twice.
I think it was probably 2019 because in 2017 I was still living in Grand Ledge.
Okay. So you asked me about the campaign. Well, remind me again of the question.
See, it wasn't a question. That's just how I first heard of you.
Oh, okay. So that's when you first heard of me. What,
yeah.
Where did you hear? Like, did you see something online or what? Was it a mailer?
It was a mailer, I think. And I was studying the different candidates and you're going to take me down a route today.
Yeah, look, I am good. Like, I just told you I was in broadcasting.
So you were an at-large candidate and you were one of my favorites. You definitely had my vote and I definitely promoted you.
Thank you. Yes.
And I tell you about that night, I was watching the election and you were so far ahead. And then all of a sudden, boom, all these like 6,000 votes came out of.
My heart still aches.
Nah, that's okay.
Like for me, it was a shot heard around the world. If that could happen for me.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, wow. But it still was an awesome race. I mean, I ran an awesome race. It was just for the amount of money that I raised for a grassroots campaign. And what I was working with, I just believe it was stellar. I believe my messaging was clear and consistent. My branding was on point. And I'm proud of that, to actually be able to, come from one race where I kind of knew what I wanted to say, but developing that message and developing that platform and then going the next step and then being able to clearly communicate it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you were running against, people that have been, I don't know, I think she's a founding father of Lansing.
So yes, I mean, I was running. I mean, I was running against, some people that have been in office for some time. It is challenging to go against an incumbent, but I never let that stop me. I mean, I never have. If I did, then I just wouldn't be where I am. I just got to keep pushing forward. It was something that I had to do. It was something that I was called to do. I'm glad I ran a hell of a race. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you did a good job. So anyways, now where are you at? What you working on?
Where am I currently? Well, I, have a couple of different platforms, and I think no matter where I am, I keep my messaging consistent in the things that I work on, right? So I created a nonprofit, and this nonprofit was established in 2017. All the framework to it was done, and I kind of sat on it for a minute because I didn't know how to move forward and how things would materialize. So I kind of sat on that for a while. So I had a vision, I had a goal, all of that stuff. But then it didn't really start to materialize until after racial relations started to be more intense. Just everything, George Floyd, everything. And so that's just kind of how it came about, because I was like, I have to do something. I have to do something that is constructive and not destructive, because I was just so angry. I was so hurt, and I was so like awakened by that moment to this world the way it really is. I wasn't asleep at the wheel anymore. It's like, these are the type of people that I'm dealing with, and this is what some people think of me this way, and I have to be prepared to act in a certain manner and not be, I'm trying not to be defensive, right? I'm trying not to be reactionary, but I'm angry, right? And I started to feel that way, and then I channeled it into the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't think you ever said the name, the Lansing
the
Catalyst.
Lansing Catalyst, and which is a change agent. It's like, if you think of an engine and the catalyst in the engine, how it gets things moving, right? We got to do that. And that's where it came about. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on, in a sense, right? So I started pushing this, I wanted to do the mask, like, I got these campaigns going, started fundraising and doing all these things, and it just did not materialize. I even created a spoken word poem, right? So that's another way that I created something instead of doing something out of anger. And it was so, I don't even know if I want to say ironic. I don't know if I want to use that word, but it was just something when I did this spoken word. I took everything I had, and I did this poem, right? And I put it to music, and it had some scripture in it, all types of references to our fight on, for social justice, and what that really means. Like, I broke it down about education, healthcare, about these basic human rights. Like, we are fighting for them. We're fighting to be equal. And I just can't seem to wrap my head around it, especially when the people that have come before me, my ancestors, were forced to come here and stripped of their identity. So it's just something that really doesn't sit well with me when I have to fight for something that should be mine. I feel that education and healthcare, these things should be equal for us, especially in a country that was built on the backs of Black people and people of color. I'm just saying, and I'm gonna put it out real now. I don't have time to waste trying to be politically correct anymore. I just don't have that type of time. And I'm going to let people know that the things that are going on, I'm just feeling some kind of way about it. And I'm going to be tactful. I'm not going to be tasteful, but I'm going to be very assertive. And because we are in a state of emergency, right?
Yes, we are.
So that's kind of where I am with that. And I kind of went on a tangent. Don't let me go too far down that rabbit hole. Let me get back to what we were talking about. We were talking about
Well,
the catalyst and how it came about and some of the things that I kind of did to transition to now. Okay, so things didn't move the way I thought they would. So but that's okay. I reshifted focus. I said, it's just not time for that. Then an opportunity opened up. I work for the treasurer, Ingham County treasurer, Eric Schertzing, right? I've been there for a couple years, been great. I've been learning a lot. But then an opportunity presented itself for me to work to support social justice and racial equity. And I'm really excited that the treasurer took his time and everything to push this initiative forward. And we are working to we're going to reach out to various organizations, which we have been doing, and sew it up, so to speak, right? We have different organizations in the community that speak to the basic needs of the community. And I think it's been very challenging because in a nonprofit environment, people have the mindset that they have to compete for funding, right? That's just what it is. Actually, there's ways around that. I think we limit ourselves at competing for funding instead of approaching it in a manner. If we work together, we can make it happen. We can pool our resources. We can all go into a lender or potential donor and say, this is what we collectively are doing. What can you do to help us? Instead of one person going into a bank and saying, this is what I need, or can you give me a donation? There's power in numbers. So that's what we're doing, to also support we want to support the Ingham County Racial Equity Taskforce, right? On June 9th, 2020, the Ingham County Board of Commissioners, they unanimously passed a resolution to declare racism a public health crisis within Ingham County. And that's big, right? This is a big thing to think that, just to even wrap your head around it, because there's so many other ways that minorities and people of color have been affected, but to have a health crisis, to have something so big where it affects the health of an individual, because discrimination is just, I just wrapping your head around, just think that, just if I'm Black, I'm going to have less success, or I'm going to have a more difficult time being healthy.
Yeah.
Can you feel that though? That's huge.
I can. And when they declared that, I started trying to think about it a lot more of what exactly that meant, because on the surface, it means like there's bias in healthcare systems, and there's bias in education, and there's bias in treatment of, Black and brown people. But it also means that bias that's ingrained in so much of our systems is causing the health issues. And that to me was an epiphany to me.
And it is. And I think where we get stuck, and I'll say myself included, I've been in that place, when I see all the injustices going on, and I want to direct it at a person.
Yeah.
I want to direct it to a staff, right? Because it makes more sense in my mind to just have somebody to blame it on, a direct person, right? When it's actually a system, and we have to get wrap our heads around it. We are working in a system designed for Black and brown people to fail. Even though we've dedicated so much, we still have to fight for what I believe, what I know, no, not what I believe, I know it's equal rights. Medicine and healthcare, education. How can one be a productive member of society if they don't have access to the basic human needs. If I'm not safe, if I don't have a place to live, if I don't have something to eat, how can I be a productive member of society? And that is what we're addressing, right? We are addressing this. That is a health crisis, right? We are addressing this, and we're working with local organizations to sew it up, to remove barriers to entry, or I would like to say these are established organizations. I would say barriers to growth, barriers to progress, right? These organizations help provide basic human needs, their immediate needs for the community. So they're very important that we push them for. It's very important that we help them get access to what they need so they can serve the marginalized, right? It's just insane when I think about the population in Ingham County and Lansing and the percentage, like the percentage of the poverty rate. And then breaking it down, you take that chunk. So say the poverty rate, I want to say roughly it's 27%. Don't kick me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a pretty good guess. What percentage of that do you think is African American? I'm just saying.
Well, I think the African American population is around 30%, and I would bet that the poverty is higher than that. The Black population within poverty is higher than that. Actually, I studied that. I
want to say 40, but I don't want you to hold me to that, because I believe that's just something I heard in conversation, and I like to confirm my information. I like to confirm what it is I'm putting out there. I learned my lesson. And I would just do a quick thing, but I had a heckler, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, I didn't understand, right? I think I had shared a post, a Donald Trump post or something, right? And this is so stupid because I was running. And anything you share with Trump is just going to spark some heat. It's going to spark some heat. And I shouldn't have even went there. But, I'm running a campaign. I'm lethargic. I shouldn't even be doing my own social media. Not even my personal page should have been touched, really, by me. But I put that out there, and then I had some guy, and he might be watching or whatnot. This is fake news. This, that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going back and forth, and he's coming in, and he's messaging, and I'm blocking posts, and he's coming in on other ways, like, yeah, you're just like Donald Trump. You're just like Donald Trump, and you're a narcissist, and you're not admitting to your mistakes, and you didn't fact check. And I respected you as a journalist. And I'm just like, oh, man, I'm getting the business, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, goodness. He right about the whole fact checking thing. All that other stuff, that's I whatever for that.
So is this a wrong time to give a shout out to your dad's work that you're doing with him?
Well, we can do that too. I mean, I'm working on various things. So yeah, the Chronicle News. News. And what we're doing is we're working on some things to, in addition, promote. I told you how we want to promote and push these organizations and small businesses forward. So we are working on in partner with some of these organizations. See, I could tell it's going on, but people be stealing ideas and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I think the whole thing of it, I can have an idea and somebody can steal it, and I'll have 10 more. Like, that's okay. That's what I do, baby. But I'm just saying, if you need an idea, just come to me. I mean, I might charge you by the hour, but I'm just saying, come to me, and I will give you an idea. You know what I'm saying? It's not even deep, but okay, I digress.
No, it's okay. So, and I always ask people what they do every damn day to push that needle forward, to push the mission forward. So what's something you do every damn day?
Oh, should I say that word? I want to, but like my traditional, like, oh my goodness, my traditional upbringing to say on the media, like to say a swear word, but I gotta do it because I'm on the show every damn day, right? Every damn day. Every damn day. Oh, I like that. Every damn day I get up and I pray and I meditate, right? I learned the importance of that, especially in the COVID-19 crisis. I have to center myself. I have to be focused. I have to clear out the noise. I have to find a way to have that time for me, to just really clear out all the thoughts, not judge myself for all this craziness that's going on in the world. I do that. I find that time. I find that time to just reconnect. And when I say meditate, it's not sitting down in a state. I mean, people always probably they didn't think of the picture and we're like, no, that's not really what it is. It's actually just taking the time to reflect and not judge yourself, to pray, and for me, a part of my meditation, I like to dance. So that's part of it. That's something I can do free from judging myself. And I just let the moves just come to me. I love to do that. So that's been something I kind of tap back into my creative side to keep me going through this pandemic. Cause I know we hunkering down now. This is like, we back on it, baby. We lock it down. So I gotta be strong. I gotta have my projects in front of me. I gotta have my creative outlets because I'm not trying to go out and bust some windows. I mean, even though I feel like it, I mean, I need to deal with that. But it's just where we are in this climate. I would say that I do well to, keep it.
Even Martin Luther King Jr. said that looting is the voice of the silenced.
I, you know, it's just sometimes people want to be heard, and I get that. I get that. So I not only do I sympathize, but I empathize. I empathize, and I want to take action. So not only do I feel you, yeah, I want to bust that window out with you. I'm feeling that. But the action that I'm actually going to take, I don't know if that'll be the most productive way for me to use my energy. So what I want to do is channel that into something, more constructive. Take some type of action that's going to affect that thing that's going on, that problem we're trying to solve. And it may not be immediate. No, I'm not a big media hound. Like, I don't do that. I don't announce everything because I just don't think it's good to do that. But, I want to work towards what's right.
Yeah.
Right. I am working towards what's right and what's just and what's fair for everyone. I'm not saying for everyone because we deserve it. And that's just, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm moving in the way I'm moving. That's why I am just speaking in the way I'm speaking. And people probably say, well, what? Wow, she has transformed her whole life. I just freed my mind, right? I said, it's just different now. It's different. It's a different climate. I don't have time to always dress it up and make it look pretty. I just don't. I'm going to tell you what it is. That's me. And some people don't like it. And, that's something that they have to deal with. But I just describe my style as I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. And, that might shock some of the people that I went to church with and things like that. But it's funny, like, we'll judge each other for those types of sayings, but you know what it means, straight, no chaser. But that's just the way I give it to you. I give it to you straight. I'm gonna give you the truth, and it's no room for argument. The truth is the truth.
Yeah. So you showed up here one day. I can't remember what brought you here. Mm-hmm. But we sat out in the yard and we talked about systems and processes and things that were wrong. And that's a different way to loot, right? We can shatter these systems. We can break down these barriers. We can put our looting energy into that and do it in a very different way.
Let the collective voices of the people sing. And that's how we do that, right? That's how we tear down a system. I
Okay. I'm still going. I've lost Yanice for a second, and I'm going to have to go down and get her. So let me see what I can do here. So hopefully y'all can hear me. I got to go down to the studio and find Yanice. Broadcast here. Not sure what for killing me, or not ACD, Metro. So we're still live. We're still broadcasting. And I'm going to step out of the way and let Yanice come back in front.
Oh, okay.
And we should be okay.
All right.
So let's just talk.
All right, cool.
You're okay without your mask? I'm behind this shield.
Okay, behind the shield. Okay,
right.
Let's do that. Okay.
So my next thing, so you didn't lose train of thought at all. You got me thinking about when you showed up and how strong you were being. And it also was at the time when so many people were looking to people of color to be strong. Yeah, right? And you needed a time to just relax and to take a breath.
Oh, that's what I kind of went into chill mode. Is that's what, I was just like, oh, I'm just kind of falling back. And everybody was like, hey, come do this with me. And you're a community leader. And so you need to, come out to this protest and be at every protest and be at that. And I'm like, I got to get myself together so I can do things and take actions that are effective to really like break down these systems. I feel like, I have to attack this in a different manner, and I have to do my part. And I'm not saying that my part is somebody else's part. We all play a different part, but the way that I go about it and the way I strategize, I'm going to start to what I picture is a little hammer beating on a rock, right? I'm going to start tapping on that rock. And it might seem like it's not moving, right? Nothing is shaking. It's a big rock. But after I keep tapping away at it, you start to see that stuff fall down, right? That rock starts to break if you keep tapping it. And just imagine if somebody comes up on the other side and they start tapping that rock too, right? And collectively, you have how many people tapping this rock? After a while, it has no choice. It has to crumble. And that's the way I go about addressing systems. I feel like systems were designed for people like me to fail, but I feel as though I've been able to change the game in a sense. I'm able to look at a system. I'm able to do what I need to do to function well in that system, even if it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
I just do it. I just swallow the pill. I just do it. I embrace the grind. I do it. I've done it in, higher education. Right. And not only in a majority setting or as not only as a minority at Eastern Michigan University, but as a majority at an HBCU. And if you don't know, that's a historically Black college or university. I attended Clark Atlanta University for my Master of Business Administration. So that was another area. And I was able to marry those experiences, seeing from my experience in a white world or predominantly white world and my experience in a predominantly Black setting, and marry those experiences. And that was just, it was very eye-opening, because on this side, at the college or at the graduate school level, in a business school like Clark Atlanta, they taught us to function. This is how you talk. This is how you do your nails. This is the necklace you wear. You wear the pearls and the pearl earrings, and you put your hair back, and then you walk in heels this way. So yes, people might always see me in flat, but I can really wear some heels. But anyway, that's beside. I just thought I would put that out there.
So yesterday on the show, I had Bruce Lee with 102 Fo, and in each show we pass a question to the next show. And his question to you was around the subject of generational wealth. What's something that we can break down in our systems? What's something that Ingham County Treasurer could do, maybe, or something that can happen to help people of color start to restore generational wealth?
Well,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. I would start off by saying we definitely don't want to go back to where we were then. And I would say we don't want to go back to where we were a month or 10 months ago. We want to move forward. So as far as programs that affect generational wealth, it's funny that I'm going to keep going back to the basic human needs. And if you are not familiar, but you are, I know you, Jerry, you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a system, a pyramid that's put in place. And I want to say it's an extrinsic reward system type of thing, a reward system, something that motivates people to contribute to society, right? So at the bottom of that pyramid are those basic needs that we're talking about, right? As far as social justice, we talk about healthcare, we talked about education. Oh, there's also housing, and then there's those types of things, right? So we want to make sure that we're able to help people in the community get access. First, I would say get access to the things in the programs that we already have in place. See, since the thing that I notice about Lansing, we tend to operate in silos. It could be 20 people on the same project, 20 people working on the same project. And we don't even come together. It's mine. And no one wants to share or combine ideas in fear they will lose, right? But that's what keeps us bound, right? So going back to your question, affecting generational wealth, that's how we do it. We get the people access to the resources in place so they can start to move up that pyramid, right? Because you get to safety, and then you'll get to you want to work towards self-actualization, which is at the top, knowing your purpose, knowing why you're here and how to interact with people, having a sense of value, right? That's what we do. That's how you meet help meet those core needs of the people. That will help to affect generational wealth. Once you have access to those resources, you know how to better manage your money, you know how to eat better, you know how to study better, those types of things. That affects generational wealth. That's how we do it. We speak to the basic needs, we speak to core needs, and we continue to push. If we're doing well, if we feel like we have it in us, and we're running our race and somebody besides us fall, then we need to stop and pick them up and help them go, pull them with us ahead. And that is how we affect generational wealth. We have to learn how to, one, access the resources that we have. Then we need to learn how to manage them. And the key to all of this is educating people. We got to educate. We got to push people out. We have to push the information out there. So that's how the initiative will help with generational wealth. We're sharing it because it's enough for everybody. I'm tired of people not working together. It's selfish. I'm tired of people acting like they don't have a conscience. I don't understand when we have resources and we hoard them, when we know others need them. We will never get ahead like that. And so that's how we affect generational wealth, to break out of a mindset like that it's mine, and no one else can have any. We'll never move forward. And that's how I'll leave it there.
Well,
I can't hear you,
that's an
Jerry.
answer. I use the of needs. You
Oh,
can't hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Is that what you said?
Let's see.
I'll be right there.
Maybe it's something I can do. Oh, he's coming back down.
Just give me 1 sec.
Oh.
I'm coming.
Yeah, don't want dead air. So if you are saying something, I'll show you some of my music talents and abilities.
I think, getting ready for the show for tomorrow, I've got to ask you a question. So what question would you like to pass on to Brandon Navin from the Artist Umbrella?
Brandon Navin, I would like to ask, I challenge you to tell me what part you are playing in the community in the fight on social justice, racial equity. So
let me turn that around on you a little bit. What's something that he could do? Like, what's something as a leader of a nonprofit organization that advances arts and culture? What's one small thing that he could do to push the needle forward in getting rid of systemic racism?
Oh, wow. Well, I would say with arts and culture, you have access to a network that may or may not be exposed to the community. And when I say the community, I'm thinking of like a underserved community, and they don't even have to necessarily be poor, just underserved, not aware of these types of programs. I think one thing that someone like that can do is bring an awareness of how arts and culture and musical programs, dance, things like that are needed in the community. And then he could help secure funding to work with community organizations to make sure we implement those programs in these community centers and whatnot, in these organizations, because there is just a stripping away of our arts and culture within our school systems. And it's really, I think it's vital to be able to, being able to think outside the box, being able to free yourself in something beautiful. We need to spread more art and culture and make sure people have access to the finer things. Everybody deserves, they deserve that.
Yeah. That's a spectacular answer. So let me just take care of a little bit of housekeeping.
Okay.
First of all, MetroNet, you're going to have to do a lot better than this, because losing a connection in the middle of the show ain't no good. Remember, Every Damn Day airs every damn day at 2:00. We went early today because I have to do something. And we've got 99 Problems, But a Pitch Ain't One on Friday morning at 9 a.m. And subscribe to the Fledges YouTube channel and check out real good, great guests just like Yanice. So,
thank you.
What do you want to take us out with? What's something? Give us one word of advice, some wisdom, some strength that you've pulled together somewhere.
Oh, I'm wondering if I should share this quote. I'm going to share this quote, but I have to find it. Can I have like 2 seconds to find it? Let me see. I hope I can find it.
You're carrying the show. Your broadcasting skills kept it.
Okay.
Filled.
I hope I kept it going. All righty. Where's my quote? It was such a beautiful quote, and I might be able to recall it off the top of my head, but let me see here. And don't get mad at me, y'all. I know I'm taking forever.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
What's the gist of it?
Okay. So the gist of it is, as we rise up the ranks, it is certain that we'll have adversaries, right? The key is to turn your opponents or adversaries into allies. They may or may not know they are working towards your cause.
Nice.
You like that?
I do like that.
I'm gonna get the exact quote though. That's something. It's a little bit of it.
So we'll post some links to the Ingham County Treasurer, to the Chronicle, to Lansing Catalyst, and even this quote up there. Sorry for the technical mishaps today, and all for watching. Love y'all. See you tomorrow at 2.